Good day, good day. Welcome to everyone who is joining us live. Welcome. And today I did not get anything ready prior. So it's going to be a couple of minutes before I get started. So I just realized that I didn't get anything ready. And so while, let's see, looking at this message on, all right, they're giving us messages, tips on privacy and live stream chatting. So hopefully that will be done. I don't know, but I'm just gonna give it a few moments to see who comes into the chat room and get my spectacles ready. So welcome everyone. I know I'm starting a little bit late today, and that's okay. So we are going to be on hexagram number, I think we did 27 or 28 the last time. One of those numbers. So we're just going to take some time to see who makes it into the chat room. Welcome, Tony Pony. Welcome. So I think, let's see. I can't remember. Did we do 28 the last time? I'm going to have to see if I can find number 28. Yes, we did 28. So today we are on hexagram number 29. And I am just now getting everything ready because this morning, I've just been late. I was speaking with an artist friend of mine over in New Jersey and talking about his art and the fact that he sold 5 paintings lately. So we are on 29. So I just got the hexagram card out, and here I will go ahead and we are going to be talking about the, I think that says abysmal. Ooh, that's kind of sad. So this is, let's see if I can get that up there. And so while I get this ready, it'll just give us some time to see who receives the notification. So how are you, Tony Pony? Looking for 29. I love all of these cards. They're so beautiful. Let's see if I can show you some of them. So this is Understanding. This is from the 64 Faces of Awakening. And it's interesting because you can see some similarities in, I can recognize, like for me, this reminds me of Dame Judi Dench. This looks like Bill Gates to me. So I'm looking for 29. This kind of looks like someone. Oh, okay. I'm doing well. Wouldn't necessarily say I'm on holiday right now, but every day is a holiday for me. Let's see, that's 19. So looking for 29. So we're going to find it. Give you some beautiful images to look at. And just giving a little bit of time to see who comes into the chat room. So this is, we got the card, but I'll show you some of the rest. This one sort of reminds me Glenn Close. That kind of looks like Glenn Close to me. There's one in here that, welcome Pavel. This even looks like someone I've seen before. Isn't that beautiful? Aren't these gorgeous? That looks like the late Satya Sai Baba. There you go. You can see my bookshelf behind me. And let's see. There was one in here that reminded me of Robin Williams. Oh, I so miss that man. This one kind of reminds me of a very laid back, Albert Einstein. And Pavel says, yeah, now doesn't that look like Robin Williams? Oh, don't you miss that man? I miss him. I really miss him. I miss him, and I miss John Ritter. Those are two of my favorites, John Ritter and Robin Williams. And it's just amazing stories that go with them. There you go. All right. We have a couple of people. We have a, whoops. And then this beautiful box. That's the front of the box. Here's the back of the box. I've learned the hard way. It's always good once you finish your cards to make sure to put them back. That's John Lennon without the glasses. Make sure you put your cards back. Otherwise, it is so easy to misplace a card. And a deck is just not the same when you do not have all of the cards available. Okay, so that is to the side. So we're going to do our, what are we going to do? We're going to do our Tao reading. And how about I put on a little bit of music for the background, and then we'll get started. And tomorrow, I was supposed to have a guest on next Tuesday, and she had to cancel, hopefully reschedule, and that was Dr. Tammy Belichevsky. However, tomorrow, as long as he doesn't give me a last minute to do, my son is going to be a guest. He was a guest on previously, I think last May, he was a guest on. He had just graduated from Tufts University in physics. He has a BA in physics, and now he is a first-year grad student at the University of Chicago, and he is in their I don't know, I think it's molecular engineering. I think it's I know it's an IME department, so I think it's I don't know, something about molecular engineering, and he is pursuing a PhD in quantum physics. And look up the University of Chicago, their physics lab. It is absolutely amazing. I remember when he went there to the grad school to determine whether or not he was going to, once you get accepted to a grad school, you can go and tour and do their orientation and see if you want to make that commitment to the school. And he went to the University of Boulder for their grad school program to check it out. And he decided on the University of Chicago. And I remember when he was texting me to, give me an update and send me pictures, he's like, I feel like I'm in the physics lab on Fringe. And I don't know if any of you have seen the television show Fringe. It's pretty amazing. So, and they have a library at the University of Chicago that's actually a giant dome. It's a completely all glass dome. So I cannot wait to go out and visit him and be able to sit in that library and basically feel like you're sitting outside. So Okay. All right. So when we finish with the live, I'm going to go back and kind of edit the video because, you know, I know a lot of people aren't going to want to sit through 5 minutes of my jabber before the show starts. So we are ready. So let's go ahead and take a nice deep centering breath and welcome us into this sacred space. Welcome, David. Welcome. All right, here we are. I always like to try to wait until it's still humming. Can you? I don't know if you probably can't hear that. I'm holding it at the microphone. There, it's about stopped. I'm not always keen on stopping the vibration midstream, allow it to dissipate on its own. But I was just looking at that bowl and I can actually tell that it is a handmade bowl. So I am happy to be here with you this morning and all mornings that I am here. And so how about this? We go ahead and do our Goddess Oracle card. See what Divine Feminine Energy has for us today. That part of us that we can reconnect with. Just remember, there's nothing outside of ourselves. And one more. And just keep up with the time. Okay, I have good time. I have a client coming soon, but okay. So who do we have today? Let's turn her right side up. And, ooh, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, change. She is the Orisha, the energy of change. So let's see what Oya's message is for us. Oya. All right. I am not about the eye strain this morning, so we'll go ahead and put these on. Okay, there we go. That's better. So, Oya, change. Let's see. All right. I can read it on the screen. I won't need my glasses. Okay. Change. I work in ways deep, ever present, always moving. I work in ways dramatic, with thunder and lightning, sweeping and uprooting. I work in ways subtle, pushing and prodding, wearing and tearing. I swirl and twirl. I swirl you and twirl you. I splatter you and scatter you. I shock you and rock you. I clear the way for what is to come. I can be slight or stupendous, brief or long-lasting, uproaring or uprising. What I can't be is ignored. That is Oya's poem. The woman on the card, she's using her fingers to sort of move the energy like this. Well, more like this. She's like, kind of like stirring the pot. So there you go, Oya, change. And excuse my fingers, I've been using black sumi ink. And yes, I spilled 3 drops on the floor of my office. Can't believe it. Gotta work on getting that up. Okay, in Africa, Oya is the Yoruban goddess of weather, especially tornadoes. Well, more specifically, she is an Orisha. She is the energy of the weather, of change, of especially tornadoes, lightning, destructive rainstorms, fire, female leadership, persuasive charm, and transformation. She is also one of the most powerful of Brazilian macumba deities. When women find themselves in hard to resolve conflicts, let's see if I can change the page with one hand. She is the one to call on for protection, wearing wine, her favorite color, and exhibiting 9 whirlwinds, 9 being her sacred number. Oh, I never knew that. 9 is the number of Oya. 9 being her sacred number. She is depicted here with a turban twisted to appear like buffalo horns, for it is said she assumed the shape of a buffalo when wedded to Ogun. Meaning of the card. Oya storms into your life to tell you that change is calling, beckoning and camping out at your doorstep. The way to wholeness for you lies in embracing change. Have you been too busy, too stressed to attend to the changes needed in your life to nurture yourself? Is change so fearful a concept that you push it aside, play hide and seek with it, or just ignore it? Have you arranged your life so perfectly that there is no room left for potential? Time for change, time to sweep out, sweep up, and be swept away. Perhaps you are in the midst of the change, menopause, for you women out there, and are having trouble accepting it. Resistance to change brings more persistent change. Choosing to dance with change means you will flow with it. Let yourself be unsettled. Prepare yourself for growth. Enter deeply into change's chaotic dance, and you'll be richly blessed with abundant possibility. It is time for something completely different. Oya says that the earth must be dug up before anything can be planted, and the change always brings you what you need on your path to wholeness. Now, I know right here in our live chat, I don't think there's one woman to be found. So this isn't just for women, okay? Change happens in all different ways, you know, from tween to teen, from adolescent to teenager, from teenager to young adult, middle-age crisis. It doesn't matter what gender you are. You know, there's always some sort of change going on. And of course, at certain parts of our life, some very massive changes. So Oya is here to remind you to let go and allow yourself to go with that change. Allow that tower to be knocked over and change to take place, because the only way to reach your fullest potential is to embrace change and move with it. Change is truth. There you go. All right, so that is Oya. So I will put that there and see where we are with the Tao. Okay, so looks like we are on chapter number 16. Returning to the root. Here we go. All right, returning to the root. To be completely empty, be perfectly serene. Be completely empty, be perfectly serene. The 10,000 things arise together, and their arising is their return. Now they flower, and flowering sink homeward, returning to the root. The return to the root is peace. Peace to accept what must be, to know what endures. In that knowledge is wisdom. Without it, ruin, disorder. To know what endures is to be open-hearted, magnanimous, regal, blessed, following the Tao, the way that endures forever. The body comes to its ending, but there is nothing to fear. And that was 16. So we're going to find it here, and that was translation by Ursula Le Guin. Okay. And this translation is by John C.H. Wu. And there is the Mandarin. Okay. Attain to utmost emptiness. Cling single-heartedly to interior peace. While all things are stirring together, I only contemplate the return. For flourishing as they do, each of them will return to its root. To return to the root is to find peace. To find peace is to fulfill one's destiny. To fulfill one's destiny is to be constant. To know the constant is called insight. If one does not know the constant, one runs blindly into disasters. If one knows the constant, one can understand and embrace all. If one understands and embraces all, one is capable of doing justice. To be just is to be kingly or queenly. To be kingly or queenly is to be heavenly. To be heavenly is to be one with the Tao. To be one with the Tao is to abide forever. Such a one will be safe and whole even after the dissolution of his body. And what is that one constant in life? Anybody know? What is that one constant in life? And no, it's not taxes. That one constant in life is change. Change, change, change. There you go. Pavel got it. Change. It's that one constant. There you go. Breath. Allowing yourself to go with the flow. And that flow is the Tao. Love it how it all just ties itself together. So where are we? We are at hexagram number 29. And I see that I took time to get out the 64 Faces of Awakening. And, oh, it is right there. And this deck of cards belongs to the I Ching Practitioner course by B.MSc Win. You get the files and you print out them yourself. And we are looking at hexagram number 29, Pitfalls, Perils, the Abyss. I believe that says Khan. So we're going to put that one right there. Whoops. I keep hitting that camera. All right. So we're looking at hexagram number 29. And hexagram number 29 is made up of the double bagwas, water over water. Water, that is a lot of emotion, a lot of movement and emotion. And remember, we create through our emotion. So 29, Ma Padma Devi in the Tao Oracle, which is nothing more than an illustrated version of the I Ching. And that is her representation of the 8 Bagua. Is titled The Abysmal. So that's danger, insecurity, overwhelm, unpredictability, hazardous conditions, dark emotions, facing fear, and at the end, there's courage. And it looks like a waterfall going right down into the water. So that is double water. So let's try our best. Whoops, whoops-a-daisy. Let's put that right there. And so we're going to look at the double Bagua water. Khan. Great depths, being submerged into the depths, strong movement. Isn't that beautiful? Almost looks like a snake coming up out of a bowl. Great depths, being submerged into the depths, strong movement or momentum, the moon, lunar forces, exercise caution, potential for danger, profundity, the occulted, the esoteric, unseen terrestrial energies. Sounds like a lot of change to me. Strong movement or momentum. Direction, north, cardinal winter season, spring equinox. Career trajectory, life path, medically speaking, is related to air, ear, hair. Hair and ear together makes air, okay? Ear, hair, kidney, bladder, bones, marrow, blood, body fluids. Lower abdomen, stagnant toxins, that's not good. Bacteria, viruses, poisons, phobias, fears. The chakra is the solar plexus chakra. The animal, pig or tortoise. The archetype, the pilgrim, the seeker. Again, that's more movement. The immortal is Li Ti Guai, patron of healers, medical doctors, physicians, invoked for helping the poor and downtrodden. And its empowered state of water is hexagram number 29, which is what we are on. So we've looked at the Bagua, and it's the double Bagua of water. And so that is, you know, extra. So we're looking at Professor Hong's, the physicist Professor Hong's translation. He simply calls it water rather than abysmal or pit, perils, or the abyss that Benabel Wynn refers to it as. Okay, so we're going to look at this. Faith ties the heart, sign of the sacrifice. To travel brings reward. And so even though this is a double hexagram, double Bagua, the yin and the yang lines are, you know, interpreted, translated a little bit differently. And we're starting at the bottom, which, you know, we're going to look at the energies from the bottom to what they build up. And so we're looking at the bottom line instead of the top middle. A pit within a pit, falling into the pit, into the inner pit, disaster. That's a lot of pits. You're really down in the pits. The pit holds danger. Seek small gains. Coming to the very pit, a deep and dangerous pit. Falling into the pit, trapped, incapacitated. Wine in the right glass. It is set beside the right plate. It's a little bit more positive. And the bride comes through the door. All ends well. Whew, thank God. The pit you cannot feel, even by leveling a hill. No fault. Tied with ropes, thrown amongst thorns, undelivered for 3 years. Disaster. Wow. Wow. The second hexagram seemed to, the second Bagua seemed to start off on a more positive note, and then we got right back down to the issue with the pit. So let's look at how B.MSc interprets this translation, number 29. Let's see, what are we going to do? Yeah, exactly, David. David Lux says, need some wine being and all of that. Yeah, they gave us a little glass of wine, but we were right back where we started. Whew. Okay, pitfall, perils, the abyss. Okay, we're going to find something good in here. Exercise caution. Okay, that's positive, you know, good admonition to exercise caution. There is potential for danger here. Be wary of pitfalls, entrapment, and perils. Nevertheless, fear not, because there is a clear path to safety. Thank you, B.MSc, for giving us some positivity. Where there is trust and sincerity, and a heart serves an important mission, there can be prosperity in spite of the pitfalls. Okay, so that's the middle. That's right where the bride comes through the door and there's a glass of wine set next to the right plate. So there's trust, there's heart, there's all of that. Okay, I can see that. Your endeavor is worthy. Your endeavor is a worthy cause to proceed with. And so in spite of peril, you must continue and proceed with your endeavor. A journey can bring great rewards. Remain steadfast to the ways of virtue and benevolence in all undertakings. So there you go. That's a little bit more, what's the word? A little bit more uplifting than all of the pits. And that is why all the translations of the I Ching are interpretations. We see the exact literal translation by Dr. Hong. Whew. So we are now looking at our brother Brian Brown Walker and his very inspiring interpretation of this I Ching. And both of these gentlemen come recommended. Let's see, will I be able to read it from the screen? So I like to not use the glasses as much as possible. That kind of helps to preserve the eyesight as long as I can read. So we have double water, lots of emotion, lots of movement. Kyan, the abysmal, or water. Flow like pure water through difficult situations. Flow like pure water through difficult situations. The image of the hexagram Kyan is that of water. Water falling from the heavens. Water coursing over the earth in streams. Water collecting itself in pure and silent ponds. This image is meant to teach us how to conduct ourselves in trying situations. If we flow through them, staying true to what is pure and innocent in ourselves, we escape danger and reach a place of quiet refuge and good fortune beyond. Kyan often appears to warn of a troubling time, either drawing near or already at hand, and to counsel you not to fall into longing for an immediate and effortless solution to the trouble. Say what? That reminds me of the grief card, the goddess card we pulled the other day, the grief, about moving through the grief and not trying to escape the grief, feeling those emotions. When you become emotionally ambitious, when you cling to comfort and desire to be free of the currents of change in life, ooh, right there again. Isn't it cool how things just sort of come together? Or yeah? is the energy that presented itself today, and she is the energy of what? Of change. And she is the energy of storms and lightning and thunder and heavy rain. So that's even more watery goodness. When you cling to comfort and desire to be free of the currents of change in life, you block the creative from resolving difficulties in your favor. So basically, that's sort of like saying, if you try to avoid changes, you try to avoid, those uneasy feelings, you're blocking the creative. You're blocking God, you're blocking source, you're blocking the potential of meeting your highest potential. Interesting. What is necessary now is to accept, to accept the situation, to flow with it like water, to remain innocent and pure and sincere while the higher power works out a solution. It is not that you should not act now. It is that you should not act out of frustration, anxiety, despair, or desire to escape the situation. Instead, and I so apologize for the wobbliness of this. I think that was the masala chai I had this morning. Okay, where were we? All right. It is not that you should not act. Wait, let me start over again. It is not that you should not act now. It is that you should not act out of frustration, anxiety, despair, or desire to escape the situation. Instead, still yourself and look for the lesson hidden inside the difficulty. Correct your attitude until it is open, detached, and unstructured. Abandon your goals and stay on the path. Let's read that one more time. Abandon your goals and stay on the path. So, in a way, I can translate that or interpret that as let go of what you thought that was supposed to happen and just allow things to flow as they're coming right now. Where you proceed step by step, arm in arm with the sage. Those whose hearts and minds are kept pure and innocent relate properly to all events, understand their cosmic meaning, and flow through them with strength, clarity, and brilliance of pure water. And just make sure that's done. Yes, there you go. So that was really interesting. Don't resist the change. How about that? How about that? Don't resist the change. That is the lesson for today. Don't resist the change. Isn't it cool how that came together? And last but not least, we're in 29. Just making sure. Because these numbers are so tiny on here. Just making sure. Yes, 29. What a beautiful, strong older woman, mature woman, commitment. Let's look at the symbolism. See the symbols on her face? Just go ahead and take that in. I love the gray in her hair and her gray eyebrows. I was just noticing, speaking of not resisting the change, I was looking in the mirror for some reason. Okay, so I've like had the same 6 to 8 gray hairs on this side of my hair probably since either my late 20s or mid 30s. There's been about 4 or 5 or between 6 and 8 all in this area. And then earlier this year, I noticed there was one gray hair right there. And I remember when I saw that gray hair, I was like, It's okay. And then earlier this week, I saw there's a new gray hair, kind of like right in there. And I've already been committed to that when my locks turn gray, I am not dyeing them. Hopefully I won't be tempted to henna them. You know, there's a lot of pressure in our society, especially when it comes to women. I'm not even going to go there. You know, I'm not going to go there. But embracing the change. So, let me get out the book. And we're going to read Commitment Story. You share that with us. And then we will be blessed on the rest of our day. Okay. Let's see. Let me try to see which will be better. Okay, I'm just going to hold that here. And that way you guys can look at her lovely face. Okay. A clear decision is felt as a quiet and powerful warmth that courses through your whole being. Gift is commitment. The shadow is half-heartedness. And in the Siddhi, that's Siddhi, Siddhi is devotion. My wisdom story. Welcome, lovely. Welcome. Oh, and let me go ahead and give a shout out to everyone. Tony Pony, Pavel, David Lux, and I think we had enough. Did we have someone else? Hold on. Let's see. Tony Pony, Pavel, David Lux, and Lovely L. Welcome, lovely. Welcome. Okay. And David Lux shares another message. When we're deep in a pit, not trying to focus on life goals at that point, but just be calm and make small advances until we are out of the pit. Yes, yes, yes. My parents always called me the free bird. And I'm looking at this because the words on this page are so light. Some of the pages are a little bit darker than others, and then some of them, it's like a light gray. They really should, when they print this small print, it really should be good, strong black ink. So that way, when your eyeballs reach a certain age, you can still see it well. So pardon me while I put my face up to the book. My parents always called me the free bird. That was their sweet way of saying I was an unreliable flake. I was always flitting about from romance to romance, place to place, career to career, always starting what I couldn't finish. So when I finally found social work and a wonderful organization that suited me well, everyone was thrilled, including me. I worked there for years. I grew within the organization. I loved the population and felt my life was meaningful. But after 7 years, I found myself overcommitted, burned out, and disengaged. My heart yearned to be somewhere else, doing something more creative. I wanted more space in my life for intimacy. My colleagues and staff had no idea how half-hearted I'd become about the job. I was lying to them, and I was lying to myself. I was also terrified of leaving. They needed me, and I certainly didn't want to risk quitting or failing or seeming unreliable. So I waited and waited. Each time someone dared to quit the agency to go after a dream, I felt jealous. Like I was on the sidelines launching other people's happiness while watching mine drift further and farther away. To top it off, I felt even more trapped. Without me, who would train the new people? Finally, just as I spilled 16 ounces of coffee all over the giant pile of paperwork on my desk, it hit me. The timing would never feel right. I could never guarantee that my next step would be a success. And I had no control over what others thought of me. Suddenly, a warmth ran through my body, and I knew what I had to do. The following day, I gave notice. While I will always cherish my time working in that organization, I have not looked back, not once. I have no regrets. And I'm going to share her gift. My gift to you. I am here to give you permission to say yes to life, to trust it fully. It is time to hold nothing back. Don't worry about what others think or expect from you. Beware of giving your power away to a teacher, guru, or system. Fly brave and blind as you embark on your path. And remember, few things are less healthy for you than half-heartedness. So whether you are succeeding or failing, do it with a full heart. Stand in your decision. Trust your in-the-moment guidance. Honor the stream of your experiences and relationships until each cycle reaches its natural completion. Do these things, and there will be no need to worry about the future. For the seed of your dreams live in the heart of your commitment. It is all about the journey. And even though she states, this is commitment, it's still about change. It's still about not being afraid of making a change. She was so afraid to make a change that she stayed in a place that she had outgrown, that she was no longer interested in. And it was not a commentary on her staff or the other people. It was a commentary on herself. She remembered being called a little bird. She remembered being, considered flaky or flighty and all of that. So in order to prove other people wrong and to prove that she could be committed, she decided to commit to something outside of herself rather than being committed to her own flow and her own ability to flow with change. That's a beautiful commitment. It reminds me, and there's a lot of stuff that reminds me, and thank God I still have a memory, although it's not as good as it used to be. So there's this is probably about 7 years ago, I think, and I remember being at the coffee shop, and this young woman came in, and she was maybe 3, 4, 5 years younger than me. And we weren't like good friends. We were peripheral acquaintances. She was a very sweet and pleasant person. I used to work at the coffee shop and had seen her over the years. And, she came in and she was really down. And I said, "What's going on?" I wasn't working at the coffee shop then. I just used to hang out, kind of like a bar fly. I was a coffee shop fly. So I was like, "What's going on?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm just so sick of my job. I just hate it. I just, she's like, I just hate it." And she explained some other things. And then she said something to me that I did like this. She said to me, "There's some days I actually wish that I got into a car accident or got hit by a car so I would have an excuse not to go into work." And when she said this, I was like, oh my God, don't think that. That's not good. And then I think I said to her, I said something along the lines of, you can't, don't allow this job to suck away your happiness. I was like, don't be afraid. I said, what would you be doing if you weren't doing this? What is your dream to do? And she said that she would like to be an assistant to people. She would like to help people. She would like to be like a personal assistant for the elderly or shut in. So say they need to be taken to the doctor, she needs to go grocery shopping for them, all of that. And I said, what stops you? And she's like, well, I'm afraid that I won't, be able to make money, won't pay my bills. And I can't remember exactly everything that I said to her. I said, you can't be wishing that you're in a car accident so you can't go to work. Don't be afraid to follow your dreams. Don't be afraid to go for it, because otherwise you're not living. And I think it was like a couple months later, or maybe even shorter than that, she actually quit her job, cold turkey, quit her job. And she was working at that place had a reputation, and it was not good. And I purposely didn't shop there because I had heard that the owners were not like the kind of people you're supposed to be off at 5 will come to you at 10 minutes to 5 and say you got to do X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, and it might take you an extra 2 hours. Anyway, I remember seeing some posts of hers on Facebook. She was happy. She quit her job. She went for her dream. Maybe she wasn't making that much money, but she went for her dream, and she just blossomed into this amazing person and started being more creative and started doing all these things that she wanted to do. And she met the love of her life and got married and all of these things because she wasn't afraid of change. I mean, I don't care how many psychics you go to, how many card readings you go to, you can't be afraid of change. Even if that reading you got and it says, oh, well, this could happen and that could happen, still don't be afraid of it. You might be in that pit, have that glass of wine that holds you over until Oya does her thing, and you're going to be okay regardless of what happens, regardless. So, and to this day, I still see wonderful things from her. And once she got over her fear of quitting that job, we get into this place where we think that, we have to live this certain kind of way. We have to live in this kind of house and drive this kind of a car. And then we have to get this job in order to support whatever it is that we're doing. And we hate it. But, we want to make sure we look good to everyone else. Forget all of that. Remember your commitment to yourself and to not be afraid of change. Because when you're willing to allow change to occur in your life, you're that much closer. You're that much more living your potential. David Lux says, it's one thing to dislike our job, but we cannot hate our job. If that is true, we have to change. That is very true. That is very true. And even if you dislike your job, try to find something that you do like or create a new job for yourself. So let me go ahead and check the chat room. All right. Lovely L says, I'm speechless. This is really for me. And I think that is when I I think that was when I was reading Miss Commitment's story. Right, Lovely L? Oh my goodness. Tony Pony says, a long time ago, I offered my brother money to hit my ribs with a shovel so I didn't need to go to work. He declined. And he says, I quit that job, though. It was so bad. Good for you, Tony Pony. Good for you. We've all kind of probably been there where we wish something would happen because we're too afraid to make the choice, the decision ourselves, you know? So there you go. Lovely Elsa is true. All right. So I've been trying to keep these down to like 30 minutes and 35 minutes. That didn't happen today. We are almost at an hour. And I'm going to have to let, where did my phone go? Going to have to let everyone go. Oh, it's underneath the book. Because I have an hour to, no, I have 50 minutes till my client comes and I need to eat. So as I was reading, I was imagining Ezekiel 4:9 cinnamon raisin toast slathered with lots of butter and topped with avocado, half of an avocado, maybe a third of an avocado, and some sardines on top. That's what I'm about to go have. So I thank each and every one of you for joining me today. And I guess I forgot to introduce myself, even though my name is down at the bottom. I'm Tamu Agina, Priestess Heart. Thank you so much for sharing your energy. Thank you to all the folks in the live chat. And thank you to those who are watching and didn't participate in the chat. You are all appreciated. It is Yummy Tony. It is Yummy Tony Pony. So let's take a nice deep centering breath. Let's take a moment to remember our ancestor and all those who have come before us. I wish you peace and great bliss. So, until next time, keep going. Keep going. You got this. Change helps us reach our fullest potential. Peace.